This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com. Hey everybody, welcome to another Rob Paints. Today we're painting Zombicide Invader. Not the whole thing, but we are going to be painting a couple of guys. Well, I'm just going to show you. And I'm going to show you a different technique for both of these guys, okay? One, I painted, we used Rycar Flesh, but we used two different shades to get two different results. Now, there's 32 of these. And you want to get these done as fast as you can. So I'm showing you a quick, easy way to get them and get on the board, on the table, quality that you can run through really quickly. We're going to take a little bit more time with the abominations and some of the bigger figures that are in there. And of course, our entire team of scientists and soldiers. But let's get the big amount of them done first, because that's the biggest pain in the neck. So let's go down to the table. What I'm doing here with our alien invaders is I'm cutting a little corner here. There's a certain amount of detail here, and I want to keep it. So if I was to prime this, it would really be, and then go over it with another color, because of the amount of washes and things that I want to do to really bring out the detail in this, it would take away from it. So what I'm doing is I'm actually priming with a paint, and by doing that, it's just giving me the other undercoat that I really want. So I'm really cutting some corners here. So what color am I using? I will show you very shortly for sure. It's a color that really gives that really kind of icky flesh look right off the bat, and then when it dries, we're really going to be able to get pull a lot of detail with our the washes that we're going to use. I am actually using right here a Rycar Flesh. This really accentuates what I want to do here, and as you can see, it just kind of it gives you kind of that unearthly, as I would say it, skin tone that I'm looking for. And I'm just looking to cover the figure. I'm not worried about the base, because we're going to worry about the base. And I'm getting enough paint on there where I'm moving it around, but I'm putting a really good base coat in there, and that's what really counts, is getting underneath his chin. You see he's got those tentacles there that we really want to bring out. And what we're trying to do is just really get this onto our figure as best as we can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make this as easy as possible for everybody, so they really get a good feel. And you have 32 of these guys that you're going to work with. So there's two different ways you can do them, and I've tried them both ways, and it really becomes preference, because these are kind of like the underlings. So we really kind of want to just get them done as quickly as possible, and that's the biggest thing, is having as many miniatures in this box as you do, which is a good thing because you want them to keep flooding through. Now the first way to do it is, of course, I'm going to take some Newell oil, and this black wash is going to go over, and I'm really going to be making sure I get it in all the recesses. Now this is just one way of doing it, okay? Their flesh is really, it's kind of weird. It's kind of like a multicolored, it's weird. So, you know, there's certain things that you can do and really accentuate these beautiful miniatures. By the way, these are very good. These are some of the best miniatures I've seen for Zombicide in quite some time. So the first way is to just get a black wash into all the recesses, okay? So we're going to let that dry, and we'll come back with that. The second way to do it, and I'm going to show you real quick, is we're going to take some Carisburg Crimson, and instead of going black over everything, Yeah, you got it. We're going to take and we're going to go over that Reichland flesh. I mean that flesh, that Rykar flesh, and we're going to use a red wash. All right. Now you got to stick with me because there's a way to do this, and we really want this to kind of. Again, we're looking for some weird colors because after all, these things are really, really strange looking. So we want to really we want to get that wash really in there. All right, because that's going to really make a big difference. And this is just a couple of ways that we're going to do this. So we're going to let this wash dry, and I'm going to finish up making sure that these are both properly covered in wash. And then we're going to highlight different ways. So you're going to get a different look on both of them, but it really comes down to what look you want to have. Maybe you want to do half with this and half the other way, or maybe you have your own ideas too. So we'll be back once this all dries up. Okay, so now we got both our guys dry, and if you can see, I just threw a little base paint on there, just like the Mars surface. I used a Scrag Brown just as a base for now because actually we're going to build the base, but I like to have it undercoated. So, but we're going to show that in another video once we get to the abomination and everything. Right now I have a dry paint, and what I'm going to be using is a Longbeard Gray, and I take as much as I can off as I can, and all I want to do is just very lightly go over this figure, okay, and really just kind of let it sit up there. I want to work it in there into the high points because he's supposed to be this disgusting gray type creature, and we really want that to bring out. And by just very lightly going over, it really starts to bring out what we're looking for, and that's, well, basically a disgusting alien. Now, any of you that are from another planet, I hope you don't take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, as you know, we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, do we, here on Rob's Tabletop World. And all I'm going to do is just dry brush this over, okay, and you can see the difference right there. So I'm going to finish up on this figure a little bit, but I'm going to show you again because we're going to do the same thing. Now we could do it a little differently with this one. I tend to go for a little bit bluish in there, so a nice Fenris gray wouldn't hurt, but you can't go heavy with it because you really kind of start to lose that figure a little bit if you go too heavy with it. And again, I just want to make sure, and I'm just getting a little on my brush off camera here, and all I want to do is just again lightly go over this figure, very lightly, and just kind of work the high spots out. And you see how that a little bit of that blue that's in that gray, how it makes him pretty much basically disgusting. And that's what we're trying to go for, just by taking this and really just kind of working it in. And that's all we want to do, is just make sure that we work this figure with that gray. And I'm going to finish this up, and I'm going to show you exactly how it looks very shortly once we get it all done. So I'm going to finish these two figures up, and then we'll be right back, and I'll show you the next stage of what we're going to do with the old boys here. Alright, once we have that done, and it's all nice and dry, of course, we're going to take our lovely little figure here, and we're going to take some pink horror. And this is where we're going to get really kind of in-depth and personal with our little friend here. And we're just going to, yeah, that's right, we're going to paint in those those little tentacle things or whatever he's got working here. And we just want to get those in there. And right up in there. There we go. And really you want to get the hair that he has back here. It's hair, or it's these weird tentacle things. And we want to make sure that we get them really, really, really well. Okay. So you're going to finish up those and really just get those to stand out, as you can see, because it really starts to bring the creature out. And we're going to do the same thing on the guy that we painted pink here. So we're gonna go over all, well, pink. We went over with the red wash. So we're gonna do the same thing here. So I'm gonna get these done, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna take a look at them, and I'm gonna show you what we do to them next. Next, we're gonna take this dry changeling pink, and all we're gonna do is really kind of highlight a little bit of a. Yeah, that's right. As you can see, I already hit this a little bit, but I wanted to hit a little bit more. Right in their gills, or whatever the heck they are. You can come over here, you can add a little over some of these spots that they have on them, which will really intensify some of the, well, that they're just doggone weird. I mean, they're aliens, right? Come in the back here. And just hit that. There we go. And we're going to do the same thing with the other guy here. We want to try to, like I said, you want to kind of just take it and really kind of work it in there. And there's just a couple of areas where you can really just make some things really stand up a little bit. Around the gills there, the back of the hair here. And, you know, pretty much you got yourself a couple disgusting zombie aliens, I guess. And real simple. It's just taking, you know, some Rycar flesh and doing either way that you feel like. And they both almost virtually come out the same. You can go with new oil and then lighten it up with your grays, and then with your pink horror, and then kind of do the same over here on the other side. You know, there's 32 of them. You want to mow right through these because basically you want to get to the big guys that we're going to be covering very soon. So let's send it up top and get my final thoughts on painting Zombicide Invader. So I figure I'd give you a little bit of close-up so you can get an idea of what they look like when they're pretty much done. We're going to work on the bases once we get the abomination and some of the other creatures done, and then I'll show you how to do the bases. And there you go. I mean, just an easy way to do this so you can get these cranked out and on the board quickly. So I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll now make sure that we go up top and give you my final thoughts. There you have it. As simple as can be. You know, good enough quality to get down on the board, and that's the most important thing. And I hope you guys really enjoyed this. I hope this helps. It's quick, it's easy, and you can line paint these very quickly. Walk away, come back, dry brush them, a little bit of detail, you're done. And then on to the more important figures, the ones that are really going to stand out. These guys, they're cannon fodder. That's you want to get them done. You want them to look nice, and you want them to die nicely too. Until next time, it's your old pal Rob. For Zombicide Invaders, stay tuned for part 2, part 3, and part 4 as we take care and get the whole box done before the game even gets out. That's not a bad thing. We'll see you soon.